That's my third choice, Kevin, which brings us back to you, my friend. Number two,
My number two choice would be Super Meat
Super Meat
Boy.
Boy. Nice, going kind of along
Oh.
the same lines as a Bit Trip Runner.
Like, I remember I played this, like, I think before it was actually released. It was like, I think it was like over at the old Destructoid house, like when John and them were playing. Like, I was playing it and I'm like, oh crap, this is awesome. I want this game so bad. So and then later on down the line, I got it on Steam and just I played the crap out of it, and it was I've never been mad. I haven't been mad at a game in a long while, except well maybe League of Legends if like I'm in a really bad pug group. But still, like Super Meat Boy, there was some levels where it was just like so frustrating. I'm like, oh come on! Like I just need that itty bitty little bit of space just to get from point A to point B, and I'll be fine.
Yeah,
But that game was so awesome. I mean, there was even like one world where it was just based off of like I think one of the creators from Team Meat had was going through some sort of like there was something wrong with his like gallbladder or something like that. Like he had to go through surgery, and like the whole world was just dedicated
to
more
his
more
gallbladder.
dedicated like well something like that like through the pain of it
Yeah.
all because I think he was actually going through the pain while he was making the game too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh wow, this is actually pretty
It's
cool.
cathartic.
But yeah, but I really really liked it. It was like that really hardcore game that really didn't handhold you a lot like in a lot of games.
Yeah.
Like it felt Nintendo hard.
Yeah,
Like it was like I was almost Nintendo hard.
yeah.
And I missed that
That's
in games.
weird, yeah, because I used to hate that sensation when you're a kid of not being able to beat a level or something like that, or having to like start over after busting your ass to get somewhere. And now you crave
Right.
it. You crave that challenge because so many games just spoon feed you everything, and you never feel like threatened or challenged at all because there's a save point like 5 seconds before that gunfight, or before you open that next door. And when games
Right.
actually are like tough enough that you're like, oh, you son of a bitch, and you want to like break your controller or throw it at the TV, but you know it's going to cost you thousands of dollars if you do that, so you restrain yourself, and then you get more frustrated because you
Yeah.
can't break something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is like now you're excited to get that, and that is
Oh,
one of the great things about Super Meat Boy is like even before you get to past that like first world, you're gonna have a moment of wait a second, this fucking sucks.
yeah, like on the first boss battle where you're just doing that in constant running, and then you have like
One
that
little
one
thing at
thing
the end where you
just
gotta like duck and jump and like you're like ah.
it's like I just saw it, crap. But like but that feeling never left me because like when I got my first system, like I got a Nintendo 8-bit system, I was like before preschool, I I knew how to like hook up my Nintendo in the back of the TV. You just see little me in pull-ups and like pacifier just going behind the TV and just playing the game. Every time I got hit in Super Mario, I would start the game over just so I can actually get through the levels perfectly.
Damn.
I was like so much of a perfectionist back then. And another thing too about that is like, I remember when like Devil May Cry 3 came out, like the black label, not the red, when they dumbed down the difficulty.
Yeah.
Like I never had like a problem with that. Like I was just like, wow, this is really, really hard and this is really, really awesome. But then when the special edition came out and it was actually dumbed down, like I bought it just because you were able to play as Virgil. But like, but it is what it is, man. Some people can hang, some people can't hang.
It's a tough game, and that game for when it came out by Team Meat, they got a lot of Game of the Year recognition. A lot of people were putting it up there because it was a hard game. It was a quality game. It came back to all those Nintendo things. The reason we got into gaming too. It was a good game. I have nothing against Super Meat Boy. It's pretty damn hard though, and it is a favorite of a lot of people.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, that leads us to Bobby. Your number two is
My number two would be, I would have to say it is the SmackDown versus Raw wrestling series. So I put 2010 and 2011, but we'll go all the way back to 2008 because it's basically the same game. That's the one thing. That's the one problem I've always had. The SmackDown versus Raw series, you from 2008 to 2000 level, except for a few differences, is pretty much the damn same game. But I'll go with 2010 because that's the one I played a lot of. Fantastic game. Seriously, I'm a hardcore wrestling fan, and this game is fantastic. It's so much better than the actual new WWE 12 and WWE 13 games that came out because the creative characters, the community, the dynamics of it was just so wrestling. It was a silly, overtop game, and I had some fantastic moments with this. I played this with John Carnage. We had some I would say 2010 was better because you could actually than the new series because you can create a title and defend that title in like your own regular matches rather than going through so many different menu options. It was just more seamless. The created character was better in 2010. The created title was better in 2010. Everything was better in there. It's like the only franchise that I felt has progressively gotten worse. I think 12 and 13 were worse games than 10 and 11, and I find that so hard to believe. Not even graphically, but how you play the game. So I would say 10 is a fantastic game. I had some fantastic moments with a lot of friends where I'd win the European belt and the Intercontinental belt in ladder matches and start calling myself the Eurocontinental champion. There was more blood in those games because prior to WWE becoming a PG product, those games had way more blood, and so the hardcore matches were way more intense. Like, you'd actually, like, William Regal actually pulled out brass knuckles out of his crotch and just, like, that was a special move and hit you, and you'd bleed automatically, and it just made these intense, violent, vicious wrestling moments. I mean, I had some great moments that we played with Fabian, who was with Sega, that we actually invited him over to the house and played a Royal Rumble game where we spent the evening downloading a whole bunch of creative characters. So it was pretty much Sega characters. We had the Golden Axe guy. We had some Sonic, Dr. Robotnik, all in this Royal Rumble mode. And it came to a great story when Fabian ended up playing as Mario, and his middle name is Mario. So Mario eliminated all these people. We also had, what's his name, Kenny Powers was in the game. The fact that you can get all these downloadable characters, not downloadable characters, but community creations that were super cool. And if you forgot about the fact that it was a WWE game, because then you'll have like a hardcore championship match with Pikachu versus Dracula. I mean, I had Dracula as the champion for a long time. I defended it against Dracula for so long. Dracula was the champion, and the character creation thing, I feel that's what people forget about in these WWE games. They're not as good as they once were. I hope 2K does a good job because now they have the rights over THQ, but it's still Ukes is still developing the product. Is just 2K is publishing it. So I hope there's changes because I feel the product has become derivative and is not even that great. But 2010 and 2011, fantastic games that we can go on there, and I would be able to play. You could be your favorite Pokemon and be Charmander versus versus Bayonetta. And it became like this really cool fighting game that with the creative characters it was almost like, what's that the online fighting game thing, the 2D thing that
the
pretty much any character
that like MAME arcade thing.
Yeah, it was kind of like that, but on a console, because you could create any character you want and fight them in a wrestling ring in any sort of matches. So SmackDown versus Raw, not to mention the soundtrack, so cheap and over top, but it was such a good
I used to do that with like the Soul Calibur series. I would create my own characters that looked like other people. The one character I almost always create in almost every video game is She-Hulk. No. That's just my nerdy character, because it's usually easy to make like a large green woman in almost any video game for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why.
Type in large plus green plus female.
Done.
There you go.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. So I suck at wrestling games. I have always sucked ever since like the Nintendo 64 days. I have never been able to figure out these games. They are too nuanced or complicated for me. I am too stupid to figure out how to play wrestling games, Bobo.
Here's a funny thing. So I'm going to take it back to the new franchises, the 12 and 13. They actually play better with the on the Wii U with the the Wiimote than they do on the 360 and PlayStation 3, which is odd to me. It's just the way they've made the control scheme on that. It plays a lot smoother, and that's strange to me. But I don't feel it's that hard of a game to get used to. Once you get used to it, it's really fun. It's just a game you got to spend a little bit of time on, and then when you get used to it, there's nothing better than putting Winnie the Pooh through a table. Winnie the Pooh through a table and winning the hardcore invitational nonsense title.
Nice. Well, Kevin, I know you're a wrestling fan as well. Right.
Yup.
So this is a really good way to plug like one of our new shows, Wrestling Wednesdays. Most Wednesdays at 1 p.m. You're gonna be able to catch Bobby and hopefully Kevin, because I know nothing about wrestling. Live here on the Week in Geek channel, streaming some wrestling games, probably from my bedroom, I guess. They're just gonna be hanging out, going through my stuff when I'm not here. And showing it to the internet, which I will freak out if they actually do. But what do you? I don't know. Are you into the wrestling games at all, Kev? Or
I really haven't played like any of like the newer stuff. I played what was it? Like WWE SmackDown versus Raw, like the first one. But then after like anything after that, I was just Like I played it since like the Super NES version, which was like the WWF, the WWF arcade game, which had like Doink the Clown,
Yes.
like Bam Bam Bigelow.
that game was awesome.
And, like,
The Undertaker.
And like
The
Shawn
Undertaker
Michaels.
could shoot
Huh?
ghosts. That's all.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
That was like the one move I remember, and he could go high or low, and that's usually how I beat people is with the Undertaker ghost fireballs.
dude, I used to spam like Shawn Michaels like Hurricane Rana like the whole time. It was just ridiculous.
Oh man.
I would jump off the ring, Hurricane Rana, just go back in the stage.
I
Hurricane
used to
Rana.
play. Did you ever play the Royal Rumble arcade game? That one was the best.
Yes.
Because it could just go forever if people kept buying back in. Like you couldn't win. Like
God.
you just kept going and going and going. And that was such a like button mashing quarter eater, but it was so much fun. I like it. I could actually play those games, but like the other ones, I'm totally screwed. Totally screwed.
Yeah, I try.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's one of those things. Like it's the fact that you're playing as wrestlers. When you start playing as Dracula, when you start playing as Pikachu, it takes a life of its own. Then you want to beat because you want to take. When you're like Captain America versus Red Skull, it takes on a whole new life, and then you're down to play it. I'm telling you, it's like that's one of the underrated aspects of the game because you always think, oh, wrestling. It has such an in-depth character creation in there that it makes it a completely different gameplay. That you almost stop playing as the actual wrestler. I mean, seriously, after the first like month of playing the game, I would forget about the main game and just play as the created characters.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll have to take your word for it. I don't think playing as Pikachu is gonna make me any better or worse, but who knows? Maybe I'll join you guys for a couple games. Not this Wednesday. We're supposed to have some of the guys from WildStar back on for Q&A, but next Wednesday maybe I'll hang out and watch you guys play, and it'll be all sexy.
Sounds
Yeah.
fantastic.
Or maybe I'll even try playing. Who knows? But for now, let's move on to my number 2. And my number 2, surprisingly, has a number 2 in it. This was not planned that way. I mean, it was kind of planned, but I'm going with Portal 2. Oh my god, how much do I love the Portal series? More than you will ever know. I wrote an article that was never published about the mother-daughter relationship between Chell and GLaDOS. Like, that is how obsessed I am with this game. Here's a game that's non-violent, extremely humorous, and completely addictive. I played through it in one sitting. Like, I did not do anything. I stayed up all night playing Mortal Kombat 2, or the Mortal Kombat 9 when that came out. And then as soon as I was done with that, I popped in Portal 2 and did not move from my couch for an entire weekend. I cannot say enough good things about the Portal series. Like, I don't even know where to begin. That's how good this game is. It's mentally challenging. It's clever in all the right ways. It adds flavor to the original Portal gameplay without changing too much or adding complicated gameplay mechanics. And you will play it again and again and again and still love it. You will never get tired of this game. That's all there is to it, hands down. And then they had the co-op features. Oh my god, the co-op features, right? Like, not only did you get to play Portal, but you got to play Portal with a friend. Like, I love it. I don't know. Like you cannot say anything bad about it. That's all there is to it. I mean, we could talk about, like, the voice cast. We could talk about the gameplay. We could talk about all that stuff, but it just boils down to Portal 2, like, one of the best gaming series ever, hands down, whether or not you're talking about this generation or any generation. Like, this is a game that people are still going to be talking about, like, 10, 20 years from now. Like, this is a Super Mario Brother level game. I really and truly believe that. Like, Portal is totally thumbs up, Super Boffo #1 good time. Yeah. Suck on that.
I've heard a lot of good things about it. You know what? It's a shame to say I've never actually played Portal 2, but I've heard I would really like it. I know. Maybe we'll do it one day. Maybe I'll come over to your house. Maybe the whole reason we're doing this show together is so I can come over to your house and play Portal 2, and you'll tell me, no, don't do that.
Your whole life has been leading up to playing Portal 2, Bobby. Your whole life is meaningless until you play this game. You have no purpose. You have no mission. You have no quest other than Portal 2. That's what you need.
It's my vision
it's
quest.
Raison d'être.
Portal 2. All right, well, I'm down for it.
You have no other purpose in existing other than to play this game.
Dude, you will not be disappointed. Like, the humor in that game is hilarious. Not to mention the gameplay and, like, the puzzle solving is really awesome. Like, if you ever get a chance to, like, get your hands on this game, play it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you sit down and play it. We're doing this. We've already got this week's schedule planned, but next Thursday, Bobby, you and me are playing some Portal freaking 2.
I'm up for it, actually. I really am up for it.
You better be, because it's happening. No matter what. That's right. So, Kevin, back me up on this. Life's meaningless until you play Portal 2.
Yes, life is meaningless unless you play Portal 2 and the first one too, because that one was actually was pretty cool too. But Portal 2, like, also when I heard that it was coming out, and then they said there was going to be a co-op mode with it, I was like, what? Okay, we're gonna do, like, me and my roommate Kyle, like, he actually pre-ordered it and stuff, and we ended up sitting it down, playing it and stuff, and, like, I was watching him play the story mode, and then, like, I was like, hey, dude, come on, get the other controller, let's play co-op. And I was like, okay, let's do it. We played it, and, like, it was so hilarious. Like, sometimes it's like, dude, you gotta put your portal up there or something. It's like, dude, what about over there? No, dude, just put it over there. Like, it brought back, like, a lot of, like, nostalgia of, like, you know, playing a game with a friend and stuff, like doing a co-op game, just going through the shit. Like, I haven't felt like that since I was playing, you know, Streets of Rage, or, like, you know, Final Fight with my friends or something way back when I was still in Alabama. Yeah. Like, it's pretty amazing.
It's amazeballs. Portal 2 is amazeballs.
Yes, it's amazeballs.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Oh my god.